Hello, everyone. I actually find it very surprising that students find this kind of question difficult. They see it seems complex to them, but it is actually common sense. So I want to make this video to help all my students out there. They are asked to find the physical state of a substance at a particular temperature. Okay, let's see how we can do this. Okay. Now, for instance, I have a question on the screen. Consider the substances in the table. Write down the physical state of each of them at minus 20 degrees Celsius. We've been given the melting point and the boiling point of bromine, oxygen, and lithium. And we are asked to find the physical state of all of them at minus 20 degrees Celsius. Okay. When you are given this kind of question, the first thing you do is to draw the temperature scale. Okay. Then let's take a look at this. I want us to know this before we dive into that question. A substance is a solid at temperatures below its melting point. For instance, ice melts at 0 degrees Celsius. We all know what ice means, solid water. So ice, as we know, melts at temperature 0 degrees Celsius. So what it means is that any temperature lower than 0 degrees, water will be a solid. So at temperature of minus 50, minus 100, or in between, below 0 degrees Celsius, water is a solid. So at this temperature around here, water is a solid. So once the temperature increases to 0 degrees Celsius, ice melts, the solid water melts. And once it melts, it becomes a liquid, right? Yeah, it becomes a liquid. And then when you keep heating at a point, it will boil. So liquids boil. All right. So we know that ice melts at 0 degrees Celsius, and becomes a liquid. And liquid water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. So let's say at 100 degrees Celsius, water boils. Okay, water boils. Once any liquid boils, it becomes a vapor. It turns to vapor and becomes a gas, right? So once water boils, it becomes a gas. So any temperature above 100 degrees will make water become a gas. From 100 degrees upward, water will exist as a vapor. Okay, so now from what we just did now, we know that for instance, since ice melts at 0 degrees Celsius, temperature below 0 degrees Celsius, we will have a solid water. Once it melts at 0 degrees Celsius, it becomes a liquid. So at this point, water is a liquid, okay? And it remains a liquid until its boiling point, which is 100 degrees Celsius. And once it boils at 100 degrees Celsius, it becomes a gas, okay? So the same thing happens if you are asked to find the physical state of a substance at different temperatures. Let's go back to our question. Okay, we'll start from bromine. Let's find the physical state of bromine at minus 20 degrees Celsius. Don't forget, minus 20 degrees Celsius is the temperature to consider. All right, before we go there, let's first of all identify the melting point and the boiling point of bromine. The melting point of bromine is minus 7 degrees Celsius. So let's locate minus 7. This is 0 degrees Celsius, minus 20, minus 40. So minus 7 will be around this place, right? Okay, so let me assume that this is minus 7 degrees. Assumption. Let me assume that this is minus 7 degrees Celsius. Okay, so it means that at this temperature, bromine melts. That's the melting point. So at this temperature, bromine melts. And once bromine melts, it becomes a liquid, right? Okay, good. Let's look at the boiling point of bromine first. The boiling point of bromine is 59 degrees Celsius. So let's look at 59 degrees. This is 20, 40, this is 60. So 59 degrees will be around here. Okay, so let's say that at this temperature, this is 59 degrees Celsius. So at 59 degrees Celsius, bromine boils. All right. So now we have identified the two variables which are constant. Let's talk about the state of bromine at minus 20 degrees Celsius. Okay. At minus 7 degrees Celsius, bromine melts, right? So bromine, it is only a solid that melts, right? So bromine was a solid until it reaches minus 7 degrees Celsius, all right? So what it means is that below minus 7 degrees Celsius, bromine is a solid. Below minus 7 degrees Celsius, bromine is a solid, right? Okay, now the question is, what is the state of bromine at minus 20 degrees Celsius? All right, so let's find out, let's locate minus 20 degrees Celsius and find out the state of bromine. Okay, this is minus 7, this is 0 minus 7, this is minus 20. So this is the temperature we are told to consider. So let's trace this. Okay, at this temperature, bromine is a solid. Can you see? At this temperature, bromine is a solid. So bromine is a solid at minus 20 degrees Celsius. Okay, good. Let's go to the second one. The state of oxygen at minus 20 degrees Celsius. You can pause this video and listen again, replay and listen again so you can digest the first one. Okay. Now, the next one is the state of oxygen at minus 20 degrees Celsius. First, I have the temperature scale. You can draw your own. I have the temperature scale on, let me draw the temperature scale myself. I already have a temperature scale to make things easier for us. So my temperature scale is drawn. And the first thing to do now is to locate the melting and boiling point of oxygen. Okay? Alright. The melting point is minus 219 degrees Celsius. So let's locate minus 219 degrees Celsius. This is minus 200 minus 250. So minus 219 is between minus 200 and minus 250, right? So let's assume this is assumption minus 219 degrees Celsius. So at this temperature, oxygen melts. Oxygen melts. So what it means is that before this melting, oxygen was a solid. So below this minus 219 degrees, oxygen was a solid. So the temperature from here, down meets oxygen as solid. Okay, good. Let's go to the boiling point of oxygen, minus 183 degrees Celsius. So the boiling point of oxygen is minus 183. This is minus 100, minus 150, minus 200. So minus 183 will be between minus 150 and minus 200. Okay, so let's assume this is minus 183 degrees Celsius, the boiling point of oxygen. So at this temperature, oxygen boils. At this temperature, oxygen boils. Okay, so at this temperature, oxygen boils. Once oxygen boils, it becomes a gas, right? So from here up, oxygen is a gas. All right. Now, oxygen is a solid until it melts at this temperature. Once it melts, it becomes a liquid. So at the temperature here, let me change the ink. Okay. At the temperature here, oxygen is a liquid. All right. Then at this temperature, oxygen is a solid. At this temperature, oxygen is a gas. So the question is, what is the physical state of oxygen at minus 20 degrees Celsius? So let's look at minus 20 degrees Celsius. We have minus 150, minus 100, minus 50, 0 degrees. So 20 degrees is around here. Minus 20 degrees, sorry, is around there. So we have minus 20 degrees Celsius. So let's trace this back. If you trace this back, you find out that oxygen is a gas at this temperature, because the whole of this, at this whole the whole of this temperature, oxygen is a gas. Okay, good. Now let's go to the final one, which is the state of lithium at minus 20 degrees Celsius. So we go back just the way we said before. You locate the melting point and the boiling point. I have my temperature scale drawn already. So let's look at the melting point of lithium. The melting point is 181 degrees Celsius. So let's locate 181 degrees Celsius. This is 0 degrees Celsius. This is 200. This is 400. So 181 will be around here. So let me use this place. Assume this place is 181 degrees Celsius. So at this temperature, lithium melts. So the melting point of lithium is 181 degrees Celsius. So lithium melts at this temperature. All right, let's go to the boiling point. 1342 degrees Celsius. Yeah, so let's look at that. This is 1000 degrees Celsius, 1200, 1004. So 1342 will be around here. So I write 1342 degrees Celsius. So this is the temperature at which lithium boils. So here, lithium boils. All right, let's come back and analyze it. This is the temperature at which lithium melts. So what it means is that below this temperature, lithium is a solid. So from 108 degrees Celsius down to temperatures below that value, lithium is a solid. Okay, lithium is a solid. So at 181 degrees Celsius, lithium melts, and once it melts, it becomes a liquid. It remains a liquid until it boils. So from here upward, lithium is a liquid. From here until it boils, lithium is a liquid. From here until it boils, lithium is a liquid. Then once it boils, it becomes a gas. So from 1342 degrees Celsius, lithium is a gas. So let's locate the temperature we are asked for. The state of lithium at minus 20 degrees Celsius. Let's look at minus 20 degrees Celsius. This is 0. This is minus 200. So minus 20 degrees Celsius will be between 0 and minus 200. Okay, so let's say this is minus 20 degrees Celsius. This is not bright. Okay, minus 20 degrees. So let's trace it. If you trace this back, you find out that lithium is a solid at minus 20 degrees Celsius. So lithium is a solid